Hi, everyone. My name's Christine. I'm with 24 Karat Healing, and I am your spiritual advisor. I love all things that are intuitive, psychic, mediumship. I'm all about energy and chakras. And I was invited by Kelsey from Divas with Grace to practice because she had asked a question, I believe, last week and asked you, asking everyone what you're most terrified of. And I said speaking, like in public speaking. So she invited me to practice with you ladies in the group. So I'm looking for feedback on my speech. It's a 20-minute speech. It's given to a lovely group of ladies, 40 plus, called Women Talk here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And my speech is all about healing yourself through intuitive development because, that's how I healed myself. Um, just a little backstory. I had depression, anxiety, I had panic attacks. I had 2 attempts at suicide as well. So I met my mentor, Carmel Joy Baird, and she gifted me a scholarship to learn how to develop my skills as a medium, as a psychic, as an intuitive, and as an empath. Because basically, a lot of times anxiety and depression comes out in forms that are intuitive or third eye is blocked. And you're getting messages from the other side, but you don't know what they are. Now I know what they are. Because if anything, your divine right, we're all born with intuition. So anyways, I digress. I'm looking for constructive feedback, any type of, criticism, any tips. I mean, if you guys have done speaking before, let me know. But the speech, it's tonight. So I have practiced a few times on my pets and my significant other and just with myself. So I guess here we go. And my 24 Karat Healing family, unfortunately, the Power of Healing show is not happening this morning. You will enjoy this speech, I hope. But I hope everyone enjoys. And even my 24 Karat family, my YouTube family, my social media family, if you would like to, get in on the excitement or give me, some criticism, I love, shout outs, whatever you'd like, just let me know. So here we go. So my speech today is about healing yourself through intuitive development. Thank you, Bridget and Women Talk community, for the opportunity to speak today and share my story. Bridget, I have watched your YouTube promotional video for Motivational Speaker, and wow, I was inspired, and you're hired. I'm honored to be in the same room with all of you ladies and fellow dreamers tonight. Thank you, Heather and Deanne, for everything you do. Speaking and storytelling has always been a dream of mine. I see myself as a spiritual warrior, and I want to thank you for the chance to make it happen. So what if I then told you it was because I was highly intuitive, an empath, psychic, and medium, meaning I was getting messages from spirit, my spirit team, my guides, my angels, my loved ones. And when I go out into a crowd, everyone else's stuff, it just hits me, and I just didn't know it. I would then feel overwhelmed, anxious, angry, and a flood of emotions that were not mine. And what if I then told you we are all intuitive? And who here thinks they're psychic? Any fellow empaths out there? Anyone suffer from depression, anxiety, or panic attacks? And then what if I then told you these are gifts? Do you know we all have gifts? We are all unique, and we have something to offer to others that no one else can. And hey, is it just me, or have you noticed that the spiritual world has exploded in the last few years? This has been happening since 2012. So it just seems like social media has been flooded with intuitives and psychics and mystics and energy workers and light workers. Um, and this has been happening since 2012, and we are slowly catching up to Eastern philosophies, but we still, we still have a long way to go, right? Um, so for most of my life, I had depression, anxiety, postpartum, and 2 attempts at suicide. I also had PPS. You're like, what's that? People-pleasing syndrome. I used to play the victim or the blame game. It was never my fault, just bad luck, or people out to get me, or it's in my family's DNA, or it's a karmic debt somewhere, right? No, I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of this, although I used to be. In fact, it's being vulnerable that brought me here today to share, to bridge the gap with others, to have a sense of connection. Brené Brown. Does that name sound familiar? She's written a few books. She did a Netflix documentary. She says this about vulnerability, and I quote, "Vulnerability is not about winning. It's not about losing. It's having the courage to show up." So guess what? I'm showing up and I'm doing this. So I also, I feel like we're physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually hardwired for connection. And in the absence of connection, there is always suffering. Notice there's a lot of suffering out there, even for yourself. So about 2 years ago, I started my journey, and it started with Dr. Wayne Dyer. Anyone know who he is? I kind of call him like the godfather of ego. His take on ego was life-changing. Bless his heart, he's no longer with us. I then read every book I could get my hands on. I listened to every podcast, every video, every documentary about ego or healing and chakras, spirituality, mind, body, gut, brain connection, nutrition, hormones, and energy. I was like a sponge. And one thing I noticed is a commonality amongst the hundreds of books I have read, I have watched, and I have listened to. The common thread is belief, intent, alignment. And what gets in the way of that? Many things, mainly ego. And the ego is tied to the heart chakra. That's the central nervous system of all the other chakras in the body for the lower 3 and the upper 3. So if there is trauma, grief, guilt, sadness, shame, anger built up and never released, dealt with or forgiven, the rest of your chakras, your body, are out of alignment. So I'm asking you, are you ready to heal, let go, and get out of your own way? So, just into finding out the why for my clients, I like to offer a complimentary discovery call. So a getting to know you call. And I typically follow a list of 10 to 12 open-ended questions. I then ask, are you ready to heal from the things that have made you sick? And I believe Hippocrates said this as well, just in a different form. And many times my clients be like, oh, yeah, I get it. We don't want to look or appear weak, vulnerable. There's some fear, there's some shame, guilt, blame in there as well. I feel that we are so desperate for the outside or external things to heal us when really it's an inside job. And guess what? Hint, hint, you're already there. Yes? And, how many of you know this? That's my question to you. How many of you already know this? Do you have that belief, that intent, that alignment that you were already healed? Belief will get you 50% of the way there. The whole body, mind, spirit must be in alignment with that belief as well, sort of like the placebo effect. And hey, I'm sure you've heard of this guy. He's been around forever. Albert Einstein, the science guy. What does he have to say about spirituality? He had belief in science, energy, and spirituality when he said, I quote, the most beautiful and profound emotion we can experience is a sensation of the mystical. It is the power of all true science. So, I want to talk to you about the mind body spirit connection and how it's broken and segmented. I developed a mind health, body stealth, spirit wealth program that dives into each one so that they are all connected and working together in unison for full optimization of oneself. So, what does that look like? The mind aspect is the biggest part. Your ego, your shadow self, your subconscious, your patterns, your thoughts. Your energy controls 90% of who you are. Boy, I have done enough research, trial and error, and experimentation on myself, friends, and family to know that this is 100% true. So then I also get asked all the time, how do I become more intuitive? How do I open my third eye? Why is my third eye blocked? I always ask if they practice self-care, and many times I get a yes, or what? So, question, who here practices self-care? Hands up. Would you agree with this statement? Self-care is self-love. I believe this means to honor yourself, to set yourself in alignment for the day. Everyone's self-care journey is different. For me, I practice using a dream journal, self-Reiki meditations, gratitude journal, some type of exercise. For me, I love the yoga, the walking, eating well, like healthy, balanced nutrition, chakra balancing, cleansing, opening chakras, reading 20 minutes a day. And I really try to stay away from the news, any type of TV, radio, and gossip. So be more childlike and have fun. And speaking of fun, when was the last time you blew bubbles? Yeah, I haven't even done that yet. So walk barefoot and be grounded in earth and be in nature. Epsom salt baths, love that, love it. Essential oils, love that too. Working with crystals, I have too many. Is there such a thing? Healing frequencies, any type of healing therapy, so like massage, acupuncture, kinesiology, to name a few. I truly believe that if you work on you, get clear and grounded, you will find your intuitive gifts. This is your birthright. You are here for a reason. You were born with this, and somewhere along the way you lost it. You lost yourself. And segueing into your whole energy system and who you are, I want to talk about chakras as they are very important to your healing. Your root chakra is all about the earth, the grounding and survival. Sacral is all about water and emotions and sexuality. Your solar plexus, which is right, the belly section, fire, power, and will. Your heart chakra, that one's a given. It's air, love, and relationships. The throat, sound, communication, creativity. Third eye, light, intuition, and seeing. And crown, you've got your thought, awareness, wisdom, and intelligence. So if one or the more chakras is blocked or overreactive, then it will cause imbalances in your other chakras that leak into your energy, into your meridian system. So energy flows in two ways. Vertically, it passes up and down, connecting all the chakras. As it passes into and out from each chakra, it passes in and out, horizontally, interfacing with the outside world. So I feel as Western culture appears to be heavily oriented towards the lower three chakras, with focus on money, sex, and power. When there is undue fixation on that level, on that particular level, there is something basic that has not been fulfilled. When the sacredness of our connection to Mother Earth is denied, it is replaced with materialism. Our culture appears to suffer from spiritual poverty. Would you not agree? So in developing your intuitive muscle, you will master your energy as well. How do I know if it's my intuition or my ego? What do you think? What's your definition of intuition? Mine is a gentle whisper, a knowing, positive, loving, and random. And Carl Jung says, he who looks outside dreams, that's ego-based, okay? He who looks inside awakes. I love that. Unconditional love. I love it. Always think unconditional love, okay? You'll never go wrong. And here's what I want for each and every one of you today. To find your light, the divine, your consciousness, being awake, the light within, Dharma, God, whatever you believe in. And Wayne Dyer truly believes in the ego. He says either be a host to God or a hostage to ego. Do you know that you were created perfectly? So where did you learn growing up that you were less than perfect? You beamed in perfectly, and the world will try to break you. It takes a toll on your mind. I get it. Yet we are still identifying with being a human being. Flip it. The more we identify with a spiritual being, the less you will feel drained by aging, by ego, self, and the world. I feel that you can crush the ego when you take responsibility. We forgot who we are. We allowed the ego to make assumptions and judgments of ourselves. Everything that's happened to me, I asked for. No one likes that one. Everything that happens is on the outside, is mirroring. Everything that happens on the outside is mirroring the inside. Real lies with real eyes. You cannot heal from victimhood or playing the victim until you take responsibility for your life. And we all know that an addiction is clearly a sign of filling up an empty cup full of holes. So love's an inside job. Start looking inside, not outside. And surviving is not thriving, okay? And divine feelings have to be chosen. So, or they're programmed in the ego computer system, and the human ego is the ultimate computer program. It takes years, decades, sometimes past lives and lifetimes to clear. Do you ever notice certain people, places, and things trigger you? If so, that's something unhealed within you. You must go within to sit with that and just investigate where it comes from. Anything in your life that is unresolved or unevolved comes back and commands your attention. So shadow integration, ego, is why you get triggered. Learn how to adjust, clean it up, and transcend. Spiritual is a response. Ego is a reaction, like, I'm going to protect myself, get my armor, suit up, because no one's going to hurt me. And anyone familiar with Dolores Cannon? She's a lovely lady. She's been coined the grandmother of hypnotherapy, inventor of quantum healing hypnosis techniques. And bless her as well. She passed away in 2014, but you can find her on YouTube. I love what she has to say about our life. You are the producer, the director, the writer, and the actor of your own drama. And because the script is being written as the play proceeds, it can be rewritten at any time. You have complete control of what happens in your life once you realize this. Amazing. Cut. Retake, stuff like that, right? And did you know the shame trigger for women is body image? That's huge, huge. And shame trigger for men is weakness or appearing weak. So through the help of my mentor, Carmel Joy Barrett, international medium and star of CMT's TV show, My Mom's a Medium, I won and was gifted a mediumship course. I found out very quickly I was connecting to the other side easily. I began giving readings to clients and sharing messages from the other side. I was always the one to go to for advice, and people would open up to me all the time. So coaching, healing, and empowering others seemed to be like the next, natural step, and has evolved from there. So here's some ways to sharpen your intuition. Meditate. That's 50% of the battle. You got to quiet the monkey mind or the reptilian brain. Listen, sit with yourself, get quiet. Find more times of quiet, less distraction and noise. Trust your gut feelings. Feel things, even the bad, yucky stuff. And you can also let go of that stuff, including those feelings. And watch who you hang out with. Like-minded, tribe, and where your energy goes, flows are all hot topics right now. So pay attention with what's going on around you. Be aware, connect with others, find time to be alone, find your zen, your meditation. Pay attention to your dreams too. Pay attention to signs, like do you ever see signs or symbols, coins, feathers, songs, animals, repeating numbers? These are all signs from the universe and synchronicity. And then play some games, have some fun, right? So I'm putting out the SBS here, ladies, the spiritual broadcast system. I am the single most powerful word for self. I am who I am, and that's enough. This is who I am. This is where I am from. This is my mess. This is what it means to belong to myself. And I always believe in soft front, strong back, lead with your heart, and you can never go wrong. So this is my speech to you. I also offer to the first 5 ladies through Women Talk that you'll be gifted a 30-minute complimentary Getting to Know You soul session. So, and if you would like a Reiki rescue reading where I get to know who you are at a 360-degree level, I have special pricing for the beautiful ladies here tonight. Plus, I have a Reiki Level 1 course that I'm working on and coming up. And I want to share the gift of self-healing to you. And you may pass it on to others. And I want to leave you with this. Healing begins where the ego ends. Thank you, everyone. I did the timer on my phone as well, and I'm around the 18-minute mark, so that's perfect. I always like to stay under the 20-minute time limit. I feel, if there's someone speaking or coming up, after me, I don't want to, because sometimes when you fall behind, then it really falls behind and people get restless. So I just wanted to honor everyone's time, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate your feedback, your love, your suggestions. If you're looking for a soul coaching session, I'm going to offer that to you as well. If you've never had one with me, then we can just dive in deeper and find out what's going on. And then we can book an actual either healing session or coaching session after that. And I'm really good at diving in and finding out what's going on with you, with all your chakras. I feel you. That's my biggest and my strongest superpower. So thank you again. Please feel free to leave anything in the comments. You want to touch base with me, leave a shout out. You want to leave some comments, love, whatever it happens to be. I love you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. And I want to wish you all love, light, and blessings. Namaste.